Live. We got the moon right over there. I'm going to wait for a little bit to see because this isn't. This is a pop-up live, so I don't see anybody in the comments yet. But I just wanted to give you guys an update, let you know where I'm at. Oh, I got my jacket on, so I'm going to keep looking at this every once in a while and see who pops on. But I got to get some glasses. Oh. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I don't see anybody. Oh, I got one thumbs up and two people waiting. All right. Well, while we're doing this, I'm going to spin you around and look that way. We do have the moon coming up right there, so that's going to be good. I cannot see, for some reason, any comments. So this might be a commentless back to you. Oh, wait, now I see them. Good evening from Kentucky. They pop up every once in a while. I usually don't do live straight from YouTube. So we're going to see how that goes. But I'm going to spin you around because we have a sunset that the sun just went down. But where am I at and what am I doing? So where I'm at, I am at an abandoned... what is this? Abandoned Visitor Center. So there's going to be a video coming up of that. You won't be able to see the sunset. But maybe if I blink it with my head, then that makes me too dark. But look at that. Look how this looks. We're going to spin you around here in a second. I'm going to have trouble with lighting and everything because I just popped this up here real quick. But this is an abandoned visitor center. So the other day when I came in here, let's set you down over here. The other week when I came down to this area, I pulled up to here and I went, oh my gosh, it's abandoned. So this is the Everglades. Over to the right, over in that direction where the moon's coming up, is Big Cypress Bend National Park. And that way is down Route 29, which is going into Everglades City. And that way out 41 is Naples. So you got Naples that way. If you go straight that way, you'll run into Miami. So that's a long road. So I've been down in this area ever since we went to HangCon. I came down this direction. I was down here. I filmed a video down in this area because the day that I pulled up here, I pulled up to this visitor center. If you want to see it, I got to step out. So imagine my surprise when I pulled up here at 10 something at night to this building. And I was like, oh, this is abandoned. It says visitor center. And you can see it's totally abandoned. I found out a little bit about it. It is was a visitor center for the Everglades. And it has been closed for over, I'll walk you over here. It's been closed. Can you guys hear me? Are you on Alligator Alley? No, I can see that now. No, I'm not. But Alligator Alley's down that way. So, but when I pulled up here, I was like, where am I at? Because it should be a visitor center here, but there is a Reed's Visitor Center, Big Cypress down that way. But I got to thinking, an abandoned visitor center, that'll make a good video. So that night I drove. I didn't stay here that night, but I came back. But the next day I had gone into Everglades City. Well, actually I went there and had coffee at the Circle K. They have a Circle K down there, and I've got a thing for gas and now and coffee. But right over on this intersection, you can see it's an intersection. I'll spin you around. Said again, right across the street. Now, I didn't know any better when I came in off of, was it I-75? And I got on to 29 and I headed this way to come to the Everglades. I pulled up, there's a gas station right over here. And I'm like, oh, I got just a little bit of gas. I think I'll get gas. And it was fairly expensive. Little did I know that if I went just 6 miles that way, a sheriff just went around the building. Maybe he'll stop and say hi. But when I went into Everglades City, there is a gas station, so don't stop here because it was $3.99. That was the highest gas prices I've paid on this whole trip. But I patronized them, got them their money for gas, and then I headed on into Everglades City and found the Circle K that is open 24 hours a day. It's a small town. Everglades City is a really neat, very small town. If you continue down that way, there's another town, only one way into the town. Oh, what is the name of it? I can't remember the name of it, but it's the last that you can get to on 29. And I've spent some time there, spent some time around the area, but I did do a video at this location. He might be doing paperwork on the backside, but let me see if I can turn this around. Tony, what is the temperature there? The temperature here right now, it's 53 degrees. That's why I've got my jacket on. I'm actually starting to shiver. But 53, Daniel, isn't cold, but it did get down to 32 or 31 last night. One of the things talking to the locals is that they're worried about 10 years ago, it got very cold into the upper 20s. Now they're a little worried about right now because with it getting down that low in this area, because there was no hurricanes this year, all the water is very low, or last year, all the water is very low in all the canals and channels and things like that. So there was a big fish kill years ago when the temperature got down into the upper or lower 30s, upper 20s. They had a huge fish kill back then. And getting a little visitor driving by. Visitor center's closed. Oh, they're doing a cut through. But so they had a big fish kill, and it really disrupted the fishing in the area. And they're worried about that again because the fish can't go deep enough in the channels in the Everglades to stay warm. Did I see any alligators? Yep. So you're going to see some of them too on the video. When it comes there's a sunset, but my leg is shaking. I'm getting soft. But this is the abandoned building here. So it was condemned back when Irma came through, and they never rebuilt it and never put any money back into it to rebuild it. I've got a video coming out, not next Thursday, but the Thursday after. That'll be here. And we do something else. We go on an airboat ride. So Bruce from Everglades City Airboat Rides, they were the original airboat ride company and the only one at the time back there at and I got to meet the owner, Bruce. What an awesome guy, an awesome family. So his father-in-law actually started it in 1982. Was when the Everglade thing, and we go on an airboat ride. So there's not a lot of the clip in there, but there's the moon coming up. Let's turn this way. I got the sun shining on me, sunset with a moon on that side. All right. So I really can't see the comments unless I can touch it here. Let's see. Oh, live chat messages. Nope. Sorry, guys. I can't say hi unless it pops up all by itself. But yes, so where I'm at, what am I doing? So where I'm at, I am in the Everglades, and what am I doing? I'm spending time down here. One, to kind of get to know the area. Like I said, Big Cypress is that way. That's the national park, and then that way is Big Cypress State Park. when I so I left here and I went back up to Ocala National Forest up in Ocala, Hopkins Prairie. That's the video you guys would have seen on Thursday. So that's where I'd gone for that video. I went up there. They said it was going to get cold again, but it was already cold up there too when I did that camp. It was like our event we had in the Hang Con, which was really cold for Hang Con, but it got cold again. There was like really strong winds, but I did that hammock event up there. That hammock hang up there. I was looking for an individual that I met last year, a homeless guy in the little town, and I wanted to talk to him, but I talked to a couple of locals, and they hadn't seen him in a couple weeks. But my idea was to go talk to him because I talked to him last year. I believe his name's Ray. I talked to him last year, and one of my thoughts was to do, because he asked me back when I did the camp with Rewild. I met him that morning before I met Sean, and I was learning a little bit about him, an older guy, and he was going to, he lives in so like I said, homeless, and my idea was to maybe do a camp with him, like go in and see his camp, because he offered last year. He says, "Hey, you want to come to my camp and sleep for the night?" And I was like, "I've got a meeting a guy here as well." But yeah, hopefully y'all can see me. I just give y'all the last little bit of that sunset in the car. Maybe I'll walk over and get a light. So I had gone up there. I couldn't find Ray. I stayed up there for a couple days, looking around and just talking to different local people up there. And then I decided I was going to head to Ocala, and the Ranger Mike. So if y'all watch the video, you'll know I mentioned about Ranger Mike. So Ranger Mike had, I guess he's a Forest Service guy for the National Park Service. So he had told me about a RHN, which is a store that just opened up in June. Let's see, lighting. What can I do for lighting? A store that opened up in June up there in Ocala. What do I got for lighting? I got to find something because you guys ain't going to be able to see me much more. So let me turn it this way because you can see the moon still. So in Ocala is that beef place. Now it's a American Wagyu farm. They actually raise all of their cattle, all Wagyu. Yeah, let's say I'm going to walk over and look for a light. So they raise all their cattle, and then they have a store now up in that area. And I was talking to the son that was in the store, and he was telling me about, oh, I'm so disorganized. He was telling me about how they started the store so that people could taste their beef. Oh, now I'm gonna have to hold it here. But that works better. Ooh, that'd make a good thumbnail. Look at that. So I stopped there, got to meet them, and I talked to them about next year, maybe when I come down, is to go out to the ranch, see the cows, and then come on back and talk to the store. But I did buy a pound of Wagyu beef, and so when I came back down here, I had that. So as part of the video in this one that I do for that abandoned building, you're gonna see me. No, I didn't eat that. That was in a different video. I'm getting all my videos confused. But this one I made the ribeye that I got up there in Brooksville. So if you didn't see that video, that is about the local beef place up there in Brooksville. So I eat that, and that video is coming out. This one in 2 weeks. So this upcoming Thursday, is going to be one I did in Wesley Chapel. That one's fun. So you can see the Subaru. But that one is going to be, I'll give you all the intro. All right, so I'm going to do it. I don't know how we're going to do. But hey, Tony here, Rangers 2.0. Where are we at and what are we doing? Well, where we're at, we're in an Outback Steakhouse. What are we doing? Well, we're sleeping in the Subaru Outback. And then I pause for dramatic effect and I go, out front. So that's going to be a fun video. That's going to be this Thursday. I did push it. I bumped that one and put the Ocala in for this past Thursday because the one for the Subaru, I used my ending music that I have on all my older videos. I used that because I had been getting getting copyright strikes on the music. That's why I stopped using music. But before I left to go to Florida, I got probably 18 to 19 copyright disputes a day before I left. And I was getting them, and they were coming back right away. As soon as I disputed, they'd come back. Yep, you're good. You got the license. We're going to take it off the dispute. And so I thought, I'm going to use the ending music because they're doing it quick now. They're doing it within a day. And this had gone on for weeks, and that they were, as soon as I dispute it, within maybe less than a half an hour, I would get a thing back that said, oh, no, not disputed anymore. So I thought in that video, I'm going to use my ending music. And I did. And as soon as I uploaded, I got a dispute, and I thought, no, that's all right. I'll just dispute it with my license number, and it'll be okay. It still hasn't been released yet, and it's been 3 weeks, so it's going to be like 30 days, and then they release it because the people don't respond. So I haven't used it again since they didn't resolve it quick enough. So yeah, it's a busy intersection right here. I don't know how to make the comments stay up, but I see them flashing. I see everybody in here, but I can't see the names. They just flash real quick and then go away. I think they may only stay up when people are talking for a long time, but I just get flashes. So, like I said, I apologize. I won't be able to say hi to everyone. But I can see certain things. It looks like there's 85 people watching right now. We got 38 thumbs up. Thanks for the thumbs up, guys. I see Nicholas Kramer says, hey, Tony, be safe out there. I sure will. And then I see a what's up. So they pop up every once in a while and stay for a second, then they go away. And then they went away. You got 84 people watching. So my hand's getting cold. Ooh, burr. So it's getting down to 32 here tonight. The good thing is there's no wind right now, but they're expecting some wind. Yeah, so the Outback one's going to come Thursday, and then the next one is going to be this abandoned visitor center. And right next door over there is a Florida State Highway Patrol is in the building next door. And that one's been abandoned for like 15 years. And then the Sheriff's Department went in there for a couple years, and then 12 years ago they built a new place, so it's been sitting dormant for over 12 years, and you can see all the trees growing up around it and up through the railings, the handicap areas and stuff. And so we do a walk around of that. Like I said, we do an airboat ride. We do cook a steak. So then in 3 weeks, so I think I'm videoed out right now until the third week of February. You guys got videos till third week of February. That one's going to be, I don't do this as the thumbnail. You haven't seen the thumbnail yet because I didn't schedule it. But down in this area, there is a crab that is called a stone crab. I call it rock crab in the video, and I realized that after I already filmed it. I don't want to dub over every time I said rock, say stone. But from what I understand, some people will call them stone crab, some people will call them rock crab. I don't know, but it's a stone crab because I've seen it on signs. It's a big claw. And when they're locally in this area. They're normal in this area, or a local part of the ecosystem is the rock. There I go again, stone crab. And when they harvest the stone crab, they just take they catch them, get them in the cage, crab pots. They pull them up, and then they just cut the claws off. Huge claw, is big, and then throw the crab back, and the crab grows a new claw. So it's a total sustainable food source. Yeah, just eating his claw. I wonder if you ever get the same crab more than once in your lifetime. If you were down here, local, and eating crab claws. But the rock crab or stone crab is that claw is the shell on it is super thick, super thick. So I got that Wagyu beef that I got up there in Ocala. I cooked some burgers and used that rock or stone claw crab. And I have a surf and turf. And that one is a pretty good one. As in Bigfoot, I see that Small Town Adventures. Let's see. Found a ultimate Seth my Tony, huh? How did you get into ultimate stealth? How did I get into stealth? So the first camp I ever did was a stealth camp, and I didn't know it was a stealth camp. I did a hammock camp out in Centralia. It was my first ever overnight in a hammock. Well, first night overnight on the channel. And somebody wanted somebody to turn quick. And then Squib from the Stealth Camping Alliance, he does stealth camps and stuff, and he messaged me and said, hey, liked your stealth camp. I really didn't know that that's what it was called and stuff. And then from there, that's kind of how I did it. Mr. Tony, you're ever in Georgia, let me know. Let's see. Send you an email. Beautiful spot, easy to get. It too is not stealth, but it's beautiful. Yes, please do send me an email. randomadventures927@gmail.com. Speaking of down here, they're not called Bigfoot. They're actually called skunk ape. So there is a skunk ape headquarters, and I had gone to the skunk ape headquarters a little while ago out in that direction. Hey, I'm doing a live right now.
That's cool.
Yeah. How you doing?
Good. Just checking to see what you're up to.
I appreciate it.
Good.
Yeah. Here's my.
I think you've been camped out here the last couple nights.
Yeah.
Sure you're all right.
Yes. No, I appreciate that. Yeah, I had talked to Eric the one night. Cool. And gave him a sticker from my channel.
What do you do?
Camping and stuff.
That's cool.
Random Adventures is the name of the thing it's called. Yeah. I'm it's first time down here in the Everglades. Yeah.
Well, if you came when it was warmer, you'd see a lot more.
I know, right? Yeah, but we're doing. I usually do a Sunday night live every Sunday. I used to for about 2.5 years. Yeah, and I haven't. I would do them once a month, and I thought, you know what, this is a good time to do it. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I'll let you get to it, man.
No, appreciate it. Yeah, you too. Take care. I had a stroke with that hand. It's a little hard to shake.
It's hard to reach across too with all this gear on.
Yeah, there you go. All
right, man.
All right.
Safe.
Hey, you too. Take care, and thank you for your service too. All right. See ya. I was the local sheriff agencies checking on me. Great guys down here. They really are. And as you heard, he said, you've been sleeping here the last a couple nights. So I have frequented this spot when I'm not filming. So because it's a good place to overnight. It used to be a visitor center, and I let the sheriff's department know that, hey, do you mind if I just sleep here? Because I'm using this as a jump off point to go different areas. Oh, so up the road back on 29 going that way, there is a Florida Panther Refuge. Really cool. So it's a 1.5 mile hike. You go in through a gate, and it's 26,606 acres for the refuge, Florida Panther Refuge. And you go through a gate, big green gate with a barbed wire on the top to keep the all of the Florida Panthers in there. And I did a walk through there. I did the mile loop around, and when you get halfway out there, there's a sitting area under a pavilion, and there's claw marks from Florida Panthers. You know how cats claw things. Well, there was claw marks. So I did a little video for the members out there. I wasn't going to take the camera, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to take the camera with me and head on out there and try to do the walk. So I just put that up for anyone that's a member to see that. And I mainly made it unlisted so that my grandkids could see it, and at least they could see it as well. But back to Bigfoot. So Bigfoot is not called Bigfoot down here. It's called skunk ape. And out that way, as you're heading into the national Big Cypress National Forest, there is probably about 15 miles out the road is they call it skunk ape headquarters. So anybody that's done any sightings and stuff calls in there. But it's also a campground as well. But they have pictures in there that I guess some guy took a picture and they've got it in there. But they were telling me that down here, the skunk apes instead of Bigfoots, where they're darker brown, all the sightings are darker brown. Up north, down here, it's almost like a deer color, like lighter in color. So, oh well. So yesterday, all right. So I'm down here yesterday, really figuring out what I'm going to do. And there is, if you go all the way down 29 that way, it's like you come to Everglades City. You keep going at the center of town. You would continue on out, and you used to only be able to get to this island by sailboat or boat. I mean, sailboat when it was first out there. And there's a little store out there called Smallwood Store. I think it's called Smallwood Store. And when I was down there a week and a half ago, they were setting up a stage because they were getting ready to do a centennial. I wonder if I could set this light up there and stick my hands in my pocket. I don't know if it's gonna go. I've got to balance it. No, it didn't balance. So I was. Come on, sit there. Ta-da! All right. So when I was down in the one store, the one person asked me, "Did you ever see the Smallwood Store?" And I said, "Yeah, I was down there about a week and a half ago." And they said, "Oh, do you know the history of it?" And I said, "No." They were doing their centennial. Now, it's up on stilts, but someone said it was a centennial for when they raised the store or so. But in 1906, the store owner there, I think he was, last name was Smallwood. And it was a trading post. So there was a Seminole, a lot of Indian tribes down here in the Everglades. I think one of them is Seminole. So Tony, spit it out. So anyhow, the store down there was Smallwood store, and the gentleman that ran it was Smallwood, and he was a trading post or the last of the frontier. And there's another guy. Look it up on the internet. It's really interesting. So there was a sugar cane farmer out that way, would come to the store and do trading and stuff. But he also hired workers from out of state, like from like Georgia and north. Well, in 1910, there had been a lot of his workers would disappear, and they would find them in canals. They would just disappear. So one day in 1910, the men of that island, I don't know how to pronounce it, got together, and when Watson, like I said, I don't remember the names, but he came to the dock. He was shot by everybody. Everybody shot him. And they didn't know who actually murdered him, but his body was taken to an island, buried. Then they still don't know who dug him up and took him to Fort Myers and buried him in Fort Myers. But it's an unsolved murder and an unsolved case, even for all the missing people. But true story. But anyhow, when I was down there talking, I went down and I met Woody. He was a super nice guy, and I was talking with him about different things. And he was, because it's a little museum you can go through. I didn't go through the museum. I want to, but him and I just started talking. He's 82 years old and just had a lot of really neat information. His grandfather was down in this area around that same time, and he had a real good eye for photography, and his grandfather's parents were both historians from over in Ireland, like Dublin and stuff like that, but he photographed all the native tribes and stuff, and really did a lot of that, and wrote the names, their like tribal name and like their personal name and stuff. And he was showing me the pictures because he had them all chronological on his phone. He was showing me different ones, and he comes down here and just likes to come down here on the weekends. But because he had all those pictures, a lot of the tribes that were in this area don't have any documentation of pictures of, say, their grandparents or their great-great-grandparents and stuff. And because the names are on all the pictures from his grandfather, on the back of them, he's able to get with them and cross-pollinate them, bring everything back he showed me a picture of a grandson holding a phone with the picture of his grandfather, so he's native, and a picture on a phone, Woody's phone, and it's a picture of his grandfather being a young kid about the same age as him, and they looked alike, but they could only see one another as a picture years and years later, 100 years later. But anyhow, that was really cool. But while I'm standing there, Kirk walks in, and he is actually a python contractor in this area. So he goes out and catches pythons and stuff. And he was showing me pictures of some of the ones that he caught just recently. He holds the record for the single catch, like the largest. I think it was 17 foot long, 175 pounds, and he caught that python. So it's the record for the largest solo caught python. That's pretty wild. So him and I talked, the three of us just stood there and talked for hours. And then, so I don't know if y'all know Dusty. Dusty was on Swamp People and Guardian of the Glades, which is a series that's on TV. I didn't know anything about it. I mean, I heard the names and stuff, but Kurt, I was at a little grocery store and I was saying, oh man, I just met this guy that catches pythons and stuff. And he's right now they're dormant because of the colder weather right now. So they burrow down and go into burrows of animals that have been there in the past. So they're deep right now. So when it warms up, they'll come back out and he'll get busy catching them. But the pythons, I said, man, just met a python hunter. And I was talking to him, and the lady at the cashier, she goes, it's a little grocery store, very little grocery store. And it's the only one, you got to go like 35 miles that way to get to a Publix over in Naples. But she goes, oh, did you meet Dusty? And I said, who's Dusty? Oh, he was on this show and that show, but his shop is right next door. He has a pizza shop. So his name is Wild Man. So Wild Man Pizza. So I went over there to meet him, and he's been sick for the last week, and he hadn't been in, but I left them. They wanted to know my name and phone number and email, so I left it all there because kind of what I'm doing is setting up things for next year. After I go to HangCon, then it'll allow me to figure out some things to do in the area next year, maybe set a few things up rather than just do it totally random. But I'm totally randomly meeting people, which, as you guys know, that have followed me for almost 5 years coming up here this March, is I do everything random, but I love people and I love you guys. And I love people. I love being around people and love just being crossed paths with people that I generally would have never met had I not been random. So there's a lot of things that I could tell you that I did this on this trip, and people that I've met, and and the common theme is, man, I can't believe I'm standing here and we're both talking, and find out it's just really cool when you think about it. But yeah, my hands are cold. They really are. It's I don't know what the temperature is right now, but it is chilly. And I wish I could get the comments to show all the time. Let's see. Live chat. All messages are visible. Let's see that. No, it didn't do it. Let's see. Member and super chat. I think it's just telling me different things. Yep, it is. So usually on StreamYard, I can scroll and stuff, but I didn't set anything up on StreamYard because I had gone all the way out 41 that way. So like Homestead is a town, and then it's like another 2 hours you can get down to the Keys. But I went all the way that way just to see what was out past where I'd already been. And I did stop at Shark Valley National Park, part of the national park. I did stop there, but they were going to close at 6 o'clock and lock the gate. And they said, oh, if you're not out at 6 o'clock, you're getting a ticket. I was like, oh, I'm heading all the way back to here because I don't want a ticket. But supposedly there's at the visitor center, you can do a little tour of, they do a trolley, but you can walk, and like alligators are right on the path, very close. So I may do that, may not do that. I'm really not sure what I'm doing, but I am going to be heading north. I know there's still bad weather, and I know a lot of you guys are experiencing a lot of bad weather. I know I was talking to Miss 2.0 2 days ago. She's training for a marathon. Yes, she is. Because Gabby, our one daughter, wants to run a marathon this year. And Lisa's like, well, I'll do one with you. And so Lisa's been training. I was talking to her the other day, and I can tell when she's running, and so she usually calls me since she's running. So she's running on the road, and I hear she's not breathing hard, but she's still talking. But I can tell she's running. I said, "Are you running?" She goes, "Yes." And I said, "What's temperature there?" And she goes, "Oh, it warmed up a bit." And I hear, I said, "Well, what is it?" And she goes, "Oh, it's 11 today." And I said, 11? And she goes, "How cold is it down there?" I said, "Well, it's chilly. It's 63. It was 63 the other day. So it really hasn't warmed up that much down here. I thought, you think, oh, Florida, warm. No. I think last night I heard on the news that Miami was... it hasn't gotten that cold in 16 years over there in Miami. They set another record. But I'm good. I'm good as far as, staying in the car, or, I've done a hammock. After talking to Kirk, who does the Python things, he was telling me about it. I said, "Where do you go?" He goes, "Oh, they're everywhere." But he has charts and stuff because he tracks them. But there's supposedly like 300,000 pythons in this area. And I asked him, "How did you get started doing this?" Because he's from up in the Panhandle. And he goes, "Well, in 2016, I came down to do that competition for like catching as many pythons as you can, and then you win." He came over for that in 2016, and then he started just volunteering, like going out and catching them and turning them in and stuff, for a couple of years. And then a contracting position came open to become like a contractor to go out and catch pythons, and he did that, and he's been doing it ever since. This will be his 10th year that he's been doing it. And like I said, he's in the area. I was talking to him at the pizza shop while he ordered a pizza, and I was sitting there talking to him while he was waiting for his pizza, and he said he was planning a couple go out tonight, a couple different places. So they do it at night, but I think he was doing some of it during the day. Yes, today. But yeah, I'd love to go with him, but I don't know. I'd want to be on an airboat rather than walking through the water chasing them. Yeah, but I guess. Oh, I asked him. I said, "Will they eat you?" And he said, "Well, yeah, they can." But I always thought that if a python got a hold of you, well, it would wrap you up, and then it would squeeze you until you suffocated. That is not the case. I was shocked. That's not the case. They can kill you pretty quick. But the way they do it is before you suffocate, they squeeze you so hard that your blood pressure gets so high that it explodes within your brain and you stroke out. I was like, "Oh, that's not good." And I said, "I better not sleep in a hammock out here in the Everglades." And he's like, "No," I said, "you'd be better off in a hammock." He said, "If you're on the ground, they don't come right up to you and eat you." He said, "But they will come up alongside of you, and you'll maybe, if you wake up, say something's wrong, there's a snake beside you, and what they do is they slither." I was going to say crawl, but they slither up alongside of you. And what they're doing is they're measuring you to make sure you'd fit, because they can't eat anything that's longer than them. So they'll come up alongside of you. So if you ever wake up with a python laying next to you, just know you're being measured for a meal, because if you fit the criteria, I guess then they bite you and spin you and squeeze you so hard your blood pressure pops your brain. So, yeah, not think of that. But so they have the one alligator. There was just one, not alligator. The one python that was just caught 2 weeks ago was the second largest. I forget how long it was. I think it was like 19 or 20 feet long, and it was 220 pounds. He said they've already gotten a python. He's been a part of the catch that had a 6-foot alligator inside of it. So supposedly there was like 1,000 pythons were released many years ago, and now there's over 300,000. They've really overcome the population. When I was on the airboat ride, I was talking to my pilot about it, and he says, "Hey, you see that? Look to the left. There's a raccoon." And I was like, "Oh, I've seen a raccoon before," but I looked over, but it was almost like he was like, "There's a raccoon." And I said, "Oh, yeah, we got them up in Pennsylvania." And he said, "Yeah, but you don't see many of those down here anymore because a lot of the game that's down here, especially small game, are getting eaten by the pythons." So he said, the more smaller stuff that is getting unavailable, there's larger stuff they're going after. One of the things that Kirk told me last night talking to him, I said, "Do you see many pythons?" He said, "For every one that I catch, I usually see about 7 rattlesnakes first and about 20, like this is the ratio, 20 moccasins before he sees a python or catches that's like you see a bunch of the other stuff first before they get to the one." He said, "Let's see, 46 minutes. Oh, we're cruising." so I'm probably not going to stay on too long, but if you're wondering, that's not a street light right over my head. That is the moon. So we've got 99 people watching, and I still got to eat yet. I mean, I could cook off the back of the car while you're here, but I just don't have a lot of lighting. But I do have a pound of burger that I'm going to probably cook and throw some cheddar cheese in with it, and yum, that's going to be my dinner tonight. Or maybe I don't eat. I don't know. I'm not really hungry. I do have eggs. I can make some eggs in there, just scramble some eggs. Yeah. So when you see a truck go that way, it's like 41 miles or even further till you get to Miami. So it's just a long, straight road. I've taken a couple pictures there to send back to Miss 2.0 that you'd think it'd be all open and stuff, but it's not. Like you can't really see into the Everglades too much until you hit a prairie. Then it's bigger. I was in the legendary ice tarp. I couldn't read it. It just popped up and then it goes away. So, guess what? So right over here, down 29, as you're coming up 29 to this intersection, there's a sign that says, Alligator Alcatraz that way. So I actually passed it about a week ago. I did pass it, and there's 2 office cars, with their blue lights on at the entrance. And I kept going, and then spun around, and then came back, and then went back, just passing it. But I was thinking there's a little pull-off right across the street. And I was like, "Oh, I wonder if I can do a video here." And I didn't. But when I was having in at Circle K, I said to them, "Oh, Alligator Alcatraz is right down there." And they said, "Yeah." And the one lady said, "Yeah, my husband worked there, but now he's up in Minnesota." And I said, I thought it was close. And she said, "Oh, well, on Sunday, you'll see protesters out there in that little pull-off." And I was out past there today and didn't see anybody. But I went out to that Shark Valley in Homestead. Well, it was heading towards Homestead, and then I decided to turn around. But coming back this way, I'm driving, and News 10 is out there, pull along the entrance, and I look over and they're interviewing people, and they had just big buses there and people holding signs, and they were all getting on the bus, and they were talking. I had the window down because I was listening a little bit, because I let some traffic turn into the Alligator Alcatraz, and I was hearing them talk. Thanks for coming out today. They were just going, they were all talking and stuff. And I thought, I've never seen a protest, back and forth like that. Interesting. So anyhow, it's out there, and it's not too far from here. So knowing that the pythons and alligators and all that stuff are out there, yeah, good luck. Yeah. I saw my very first alligator the other day, and yeah, I take you guys along for that in the one video that I do with the abandoned place here. So you'll get to see. I walk the whole way around it. I go around the abandoned highway patrol building that became the sheriff's building. Now it's totally abandoned, but this visitor center is 10 years since Hurricane Irma. It's been abandoned, so that's going to be the video that's coming out in 2 weeks. The Outback one, Outback Steakhouse, is next Thursday. Yeah. I don't know if y'all can see palm trees. I think y'all won't be able to see them, and I don't know if I can get my flashlight. I got my flashlight, but I don't think it'll shine over there. Let's see. Let's figure something out. Give you all a little look at a couple things. If I can figure out how to turn this light on. There we go. Ah. But let's see if we can. Let's see. Can I turn that? Let's see if I can spin it. Spin. Yeah, it's spun. That car just went that way. It's heading to, oops, there goes my little light. Let me turn that off because I can use this light for that. But this is the information boards, like when you pull up to a visitor center, you usually see all these, because you're at the visitor center, and it would have brochures and things like that in it. And so come on, light, turn off. And right button. Oh, not that one, that one. There we go. So back over here. But these would be all the information boards on the outside, this little octagon or area. But you can see there's no brochures. The only brochures that I saw were on this side. You can see they're old. So they haven't been changed in 10 years. Yeah. And then I do see more on it. Oh, okay, we're going to take a walk. I'll show you all this, a little bit of stuff. But that is a little tree, and a lot of this is all grown up. Let's see, go through this way. Yeah. But yeah, nothing on the boards. But I want to show you how grown up it is. This is falling apart. But you can see that is really, And that beam goes all the way to the top. That one there. They got them on both corners, but you can see it's bowed. That's some of the stuff I show you in the video. But the railing's coming down. But inside of it is, I don't know if you can see inside. Pretty much how it was whenever they left. Railing over there is all falling down. Yeah, and then these steps are kind of rotting as well. A lot of mold. And you probably won't be able to see it, but maybe you can. But that beam there is all cracked. And like I said, they pretty much abandoned it because it got too much damage from Irma. And then over that way, I don't know, is this fun? Over here is the Florida State Building. You can just kind of make the roof out over there. I'm not going to walk over to that one. But then there's a big cell tower back here. But this is the handicap ramp, or the side of the building. But there's a big tree right over there, and the tree is just got it all totally railings popping out stuff. But this thing is thick inside of there. But like that's kind of what the Everglades looks like in there. Oh, can you get in there? There's kind of a hole in there. Gotta keep an eye out for pythons, right? There's really a neat. Are they called palmettos? These things, nice and green and vibrant. Like I said, the visitor center. I pulled up to it and I was like, hey, because it brought me right here as a visitor center. And I thought, oh, this is probably open. Nope, it's closed. But the porch, the patio that goes the whole way around the building is all cement. And it's not rotting or anything, but we do a whole walk around. There's some stuff in the back that you'll see in the video when it comes out. That looks like the base of that beam. Looks like they got cement and everything there. Very cool, right? Really neat. And then there's picnic tables over in that direction. And the picnic tables, actually, I cooked that steak on that one picnic table out there. We're not going to walk to that, but it's out there. Oh, and that is a Marathon gas station at the intersection. But that gas station actually, I believe, closes around maybe 10 or 11 o'clock. Yeah. Let's see. What can I do to get light? Let me see if this works. I'll set my camera up over there. Spin this around again. That's a bright light. I might grab the other one again. Like I said, I'm not planning on staying on here too much longer because I gotta eat. I still gotta get to a place to sleep tonight. I'm not gonna sleep here again because I slept here last night again. I've been, like I said, this has been my go-to here. I just pull right over there and turn the car off, climb in the back, bleep, bleep, and it closes the hatch, and I go to sleep. Let's get this little light. I just gotta use this one when I'm not carrying it around. There we go. Like I said, I could cook a meal, but like I said, I just don't. I wasn't. This was kind of a last minute thing. I was like, I realized it was the first Sunday of the month, because we started doing these once a month on the first Sunday of the month, unless I do a pop-up live. But I was driving out the road and I went, oh wait, it's it's Sunday today. We got to do our live tonight. So I didn't advertise it or anything about going live tonight. But so we do have 3 videos coming up for the next 3 Thursdays are all covered, which gives me a chance to do scouting. Like I said, I'm scouting right now for next year, for when I, Lord willing, come back down to this area. So when I got the Subaru, it was 7 miles on it on the odometer, and that was what, December 27th or 8th. Hoi. And your first oil change is 6,000 miles. They want you to do a first oil change. So I know I've got to get back up to Wesley Chapel soon. Believe it or not, I'm already at like 45 or 4,700 miles on the Subaru. So we're breaking it in all in one trip. Yeah. But like I said, I want to thank you guys for, just watching the videos and being such a great support. I love talking to y'all in the comments. I really miss doing our weekly lives, but we'll get back into some kind of a rhythm. But right now, the every once a month on Sunday, first Sunday of the month, we'll continue that for a little while and then do some pop-ups. Oh, I didn't even talk about all the other videos that you guys have seen that since I left on January 3rd. I don't believe I spoke about them at all. I know Stitch and I, we did the live at the hotel before the next day he got on the plane and flew back to some cold weather. And I don't remember what I did from that point forward. Oh. It's all a blur. But I did, on the way down, I did the Buc-ee's. That one's doing really good, the Buc-ee's video, where I got some comments like, why are you moving the car so much? You're too paranoid. It wasn't that I was paranoid. I was just making it, the car move a lot. Because I didn't want to be seen. I was practicing, right? And hopefully when I get back, probably March or April, I'll be able to get the windows tinted because they need tinted a little darker. I do have the window screens that I can put up, but I generally don't like to put those up because when you see window coverings on a car, you pretty much know that somebody's staying in there. And that's kind of what I want to, for me, that's doing the car stealth. That's what I want to avoid, is people knowing that I'm in there. So we did that one. Oh goodness, what else did we do? We did a couple of them. A couple, you guys have seen a couple good videos that are doing good. The HangCon was amazing. That was a lot of fun. And it's amazing how many people do not know that HangCon even exists, especially around Brooksville. Everybody I've talked to, I say what I'm down here for. It's like, hey, I'm down in the area. I go to the world's largest hammock hang every year. For the last 3 years, they were like, hammock hang? What is that? And it said, no, we all are tree dwellers and we hang in hammocks for all together over Martin Luther King weekend. And, never heard of a thing like that. And so Yeah, I did go back to Sand Hill. I went and talked to them. They were getting ready to have some other festival. I was going to stay there the one night, and then I was like, they said I had to be out pretty quick the next day, and I was like, yeah, I'm just going to run back towards my Cracker Barrel, and I got to Cracker Barrel, and I thought, I'm just going to drive. So I ended up driving all the way up to Ocala. I don't even remember where I slept up in there. I slept somewhere. That's the thing. With the car, I can pretty much pull into any parking lot or along the side of the road and just sleep anywhere. I know when I got down here the next day after I found this, the Reed, Big Cypress, Reed, visitor center is that way. And I talked to the rangers and stuff in there, and I asked them about camp, and they said, well, there are some campgrounds in the national park, but they did say if all the years we've been down here, we never had anybody that pull alongside the road and went to sleep and decided to go again the next day, tell them to move. So they've never had that. Yeah. So I can't even say, hey, did anybody got any questions? Because I can't see the comments. I've hit that button a couple times. I don't know what this does. You can see my finger going up there. Let's see. Nope. That's not it. Yeah. Nope. Get that off. They pop up and then they go away. Pop up and go away. I just can't see them. Very interesting. So I've been to Naples. So when I went back up after I was here, I decided to go up along the coast through Naples and then out that direction. I wanted to do a camp on a beach, try to find a beach to do that. Couldn't find anything. So I ended up, then I went to Ocala up there because I spent a day and a half looking, and I was like, before you know it, I'm up near Crystal Springs, and I was like, well, might as well go back towards Brooksville. So I've been through Brooksville a lot. Yeah, a lot. And like that's another jump off point for me. So this will be next year. I'm definitely going to come back down here again. I like the Everglades, very nice. And usually when you go to an area, you don't find stuff right away. It usually takes you a couple times to be in there, and you see more stuff. But I was excited to see my first alligator. So we go in the video for the abandoned visitor center. We go see alligators as well out the road. And then yesterday, I drove all the way out there yesterday too. Or was that yesterday or the day before? I don't remember. I think it was yesterday. And I was coming back, and I decided to take, there's a road called the Loop Road. And I was all the way at the far end, and I took the loop, and it brings you back out over here. And it starts out as pavement on the other end, and then it turns to just dirt. Well, like limestone, gravel that they have down in this area, and sand mixture. And when I was coming through there, you could stop every once in a while if you saw like there was the canal went a little bit under the road, like a drain going from one to the other. And I stopped and got out, and I walked over, and I heard an alligator underneath of it in the waterway underneath the bridge, and I couldn't see it, and it only did that for a minute, and then I went to the other side of it and looked out, and there was a couple alligators in the water laying. And then I left there, and I'm driving out the road, and I just look to the left, and laying right on the side of the road is an alligator, just out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, just laying there. So I rolled down my window, took a picture, and kept going. Yeah, he was eyeballing me. But birds, oh my goodness, a ton of birds. Down at the Collier Seminole State Park is that way on the way to Naples. And about a mile coming this way from that is like a boardwalk that goes out to an observation tower. I think someone was telling me it's about a mile to get out there, but they had done the walk, and it's like one of the biggest spots in the evening to see birds, like all kinds of birds, spoonbills and ospreys, and I'm learning the birds. Just hundreds of birds. They had gone out and did the walk, but going out, they said there were so many people in the evening between 4 and sunset that had these huge cameras and stuff, and they were taking pictures. He said there was a lot of people there, but it was a very easy walk, and said if you didn't want to do the mile out to the observation tower, just walking out, you'd see a ton of stuff just walking out. So I do want to do that one evening. I'm talking like I got all my evenings planned. I don't know how many more evenings I'll be in this area, but I'm just not ready to start heading back yet. It's a little too cold for me on the way home to be able to do a couple camps. So I'm kind of waiting for it to warm up a little bit. But all of y'all that have been going through it, I really do been praying that y'all are safe and that you're okay, and it's not too difficult, but stay safe on the roads. And yeah, a lot of snow. North Carolina, I know I was talking to Dennis yesterday, and he said he had 6 inches already out there where he was at, on top of the ice that they got, because they got ice last week, and now they're getting a bunch of snow. And I heard, somewhere in North Carolina got like 22 inches. So Pennsylvania, talking to Lisa, they didn't get much up there this time. I think they got over a foot, maybe a foot and a half last weekend. Yeah. What time were we at? Oh, we're an hour and 2 minutes. So we did a full hour and 2 minutes. All right. Well, should I go? I can't even see you guys commenting. But my nose is running. You can hear me sniffing and snorting. Yeah. So it was fairly clear today. So I don't know if we'll be able to see any stars, but the moon, it looks like a street light. Let me show you again the moon. It's the moon up there. Where's the moon? Is it too high? There it is. So that's the moon over the Everglades, because Big Cypress. So if you go straight that way, Miami, straight that way is Naples, up along that area. And all those cars are heading that way. So Kirk did tell me about a couple boat launches that I could, if I want to just go overnight somewhere, of some places that he puts, when he's python hunting, he stays at some of those, because he sleeps in his truck is what he does when he's down here contracting for pythons. I might try to run into Cypress or into Everglades City. I'm going to go to Circle K, get me a big old cup of coffee, answer comments, and figure out what I'm doing next, because I still have no clue. But we're good for the next 3 Thursdays, so it gives me time to get stuff figured out and done. Oh, I was talking. Who was it I was talking to? Mike. I was talking to Mike up at Ocala, up at Hopkins Prairie. Oh, if you watched the video, you heard me say it. But, you know, is there alligators in like just around? And he said, yeah, you stick your finger in. If you pull your finger out of water and it's wet, there's an alligator in there. Yeah. But being so cold right now, you're not seeing as much stuff down here as typical. And I'm here at a good time from what I understand. Last year, because there wasn't any hurricanes, the water and stuff, like the fish and things, they said last year was the worst year. You know, I was talking to somebody who said they grew up here all their life, and they were like 78 years old, and they said last year was the worst year that they remembered for mosquitoes. So if you're coming down in this area, do it between October and May. They kind of, like even the airboat rides and stuff, they close down during the summer months. It's just nobody comes down there because you're fighting mosquitoes. They said it was so bad last year that when you went to go out, say like a screen door, you couldn't see out the screen door for the mosquitoes that were stuck to it. It would just look like a solid panel. But you walk out and it's all mosquitoes. They said even spaghetti nets. That sound like spaghetti. Mosquito nets. You know, the full head mask and everything. They put whole mosquito suits on down here to do stuff. Yeah, I don't know. That's one of the things I did read about the Everglades, and they haven't gotten any rain this year either yet. So all the tributaries and everything that runs through is all low. The mango groves and stuff. Oh, on the way down here, I did pull off. So to get down here, I actually, instead of running, the first time I came down I-75 and then on 29. Coming out of Ocala, I looked on the map and thought, you know what? I don't want to go down a main interstate. I want to go like a lesser traveled one. So I did go through some neat little towns, I think on 27, and then it became 29 down through. So I didn't, usually when I'm trying to get to an area, I go the quickest way I can, but being down here, knowing I'm not heading back right away, and I'm good on videos. I'm trying to scout and just do some back country or back towns. But I guess Florida's not. It's one of the things that, like up in Pennsylvania, things like that, 1700s, 1600s, you hear, this town was established in 1702. Down here, it's like 1910 or 1928 or something like that. So 1960, it's not, I guess it was mainly forts and, frontier stuff. Very interesting. Okay. Well, I'm going to ramble now. So I'm going to go get something to eat. I'm going to go get a cup of coffee, turn the heat on, and warm the car up a little bit because I had the hatch hanging open. But I do want to say thanks a lot, guys, for coming along on all these adventures and supporting me as I do these random adventures, and you guys coming along, and like I said, I apologize for not being able to see the comments. If I was doing this on StreamYard, I'd be able to see them, but I just want to say I love you guys, and I really appreciate you coming along, and the 109 likes that we got tonight. Oh, that is so cool. Thank you guys for that. And there's still 100 people watching. I'm tempted to continue to stay on. But like I said, I'm going to I'm going to go because there's some things that I still want to get done today, even though it's late. There's some things, and plus I'm not going to stay here tonight. I'm going to find a different spot to stay. But I did another sticker drop, and when you see this abandoned video, which is going to be in 2 weeks, you'll know where it's at. The stickers, and it's not on this property, so but you'll see the stickers, and there's one signed picture in there, and but yes, that's it. All right, well, love you guys, and I appreciate you coming on to this live from the Everglades. And the moon's still rising. So you see me almost fall. That's because when my legs get cold, I get unsteady. My one leg doesn't want to move. So this has been good for me to be able to get out and film, or else you guys wouldn't have a video up home where they'd all be from the warmth of the car. I wouldn't be getting out. All right. Well, again, thank you all for coming along on this random adventure of a live, and hope you liked what you saw. Hope you enjoyed this live and our little get together. Many blessings to all of y'all. Y'all have a great week. Stay safe this week. And I don't know if you got any weather coming, but if you do, hopefully everything works out great for you guys. And keep me in prayer too for our travels, going home, travel mercies and stuff. And just letting you know, Lisa and I talk every day, and she's training for that marathon. But I did say to her, I said, next year when I drop Stitch off in Tampa, I said, maybe you could fly in to Tampa, and I can take you on a couple day, spend a week down here, going to a couple places. But yeah, and then I could fly her home and continue my journeys. But that would be neat. It would really be neat. I miss her. All right. Well, I love you guys. And thank you again for coming along on this. And I will see you when I do another live. All right. Love you guys. And don't forget, if Thursday night, another video on Thursday. And if I do anything like odd, I will throw that up as a little thing during the week. But camping videos every Thursday. All right. Love you guys. Time to go. See ya, or else I'll make this 2 hours. Oh, it's already an hour and 22. All right. Love you guys. See ya. Good night. Okay. I got to push a button. Yes, I do. All right.